Hi, my name is Stephanie Schmidt, and I'm going to be presenting the investigation that my advisor, Dr. Chang-Woo An, and I have conducted concerning if the NRCS color sensor can be used to complement the Munsell soil color chart in making on-site soil color determinations. So soil color is a really important attribute that can be perceived to indicate soil and ecosystem function. For example, soil organic matter and carbon contents, as well as soil biogeochemistry. And soil color is really informative when it comes to making judgments of whether or not a soil is hydric. If you look at the field indicators of hydric soils, they really relate to whether or not the soil has a certain hue, value, and chroma per the Munsell soil color chart. So having a system like the Munsell soil color chart, which can provide accurate, systematic, quantifiable attributes of color has been really beneficial to the field of soil science and wetland delineation. So for example, the indicator of the hydric field indicators that requires a depleted matrix says that the value must be 4 or more and the chroma must be 2 or less. So being able to accurately identify value and chroma is necessary for being able to assess whether or not a soil is hydric. However, there are some issues with the Munsell soil color chart. It is inherently subjective, and it does require a lot of familiarity and training to use it efficiently and accurately. Because of this, a lot of research has focused on alternative methods for determining soil color, but few have focused on rapid on-site color determinations that nonetheless rely on a method that is related to the humanistic observation of soil color. Additionally, few of these efforts have focused on the implications for wetland delineation and identifying hydric soils. To fill these gaps, a Bluetooth linked device called the NRCS color sensor could be really useful. It can quickly scan the surface of a soil PED and store that color in 15 easily analyzed variables. It's about the same cost as the Munsell soil color chart, but it is objective, it's pre-calibrated, and it can be calibrated to continue to provide quality control. So because it can overcome many of the gaps of the Munsell soil color chart, my research goal was to determine if the NRCS color sensor can be used to complement or substitute for the Munsell soil color chart in making color determinations. My 3 objectives were first to relate NRCS variables, of which there are 15, to the 3 Munsell variables to identify strong correlations. Then to choose one NRCS variable best able to represent each Munsell variable. And then finally to create predictive equations to translate measurements taken by the NRCS to Munsell measurements. So I conducted my research in Northern Virginia at 4 sites, 2 in the Piedmont, Banshee Reeks and Algonquin Regional Park, and then 2 in the Coastal Plain, Julie J. Metz and Mason Neck. At each site, I had 4 plots, and most of them were forested or palustrine forested wetlands, but I did have some non-hydric plots as well. So I visited each plot between 2018 and 2019, and I augured down to 60 centimeters and measured the soil color every 10 centimeters, or if there was a change in horizon within that depth interval, every horizon as well. And I used both the Munsell soil color chart and the NRCS color sensor. And so I was only looking at interior colors, and I would break the PEDs until I reached a diameter of about 5 centimeters just to make sure that all interior colors were identified. The NRCS aperture is only about 1 centimeter, so I did not scan features that were smaller than that. I made sure that the NRCS was snugly fit along the edges of the soil surface, and I also made sure that within the aperture, the surface was smoothed without smudging the colors to make sure that the NRCS was accurately scanning the color. I'm not going to go into detail about the 15 variables that the NRCS stores per color, but there are 5 color spaces, and the color spaces are named after the variables within that color space. So for example, number 4 is the Commission on International Illumination, LAB color space that has the variables L, A, and B, where L is akin to value. It relates to the lightness of the color. So I first made sure that I turned hue into a numeric variable, and then I also calculated several NRCS variables just to make sure that correlation strengths would be as high as they could be. So for the XYZ color space, I calculated variables that relate to another color space that the NRCS doesn't record. And then for the RGB and CMYK color space, I calculated variables that provide linearly independent variables from these color spaces. So once I matched each NRCS recording with each Munsell recording, I ran correlation analysis and then also simple linear regression. From the correlation analysis, it was found that hue was not as strongly correlated to any of the NRCS variables as value and chroma. However, it still had a modest correlation with LCHH, which is similar, it basically means hue, and then also the calculated variable HRGB. So HRGB was chosen as the final variable to represent hue because it had the higher correlation coefficient. Value was strongly correlated to several variables, but L was chosen as the final variable for value because it has been used in previous literature looking at soil color and because it has the same inherent meaning as value. Finally, chroma was highly correlated to several variables, but the strongest occurred for the calculated variables Z hat and CO. Z hat was chosen over CO because it only relies on 3 variables, X, Y, and Z, as opposed to CO, which relies on 4 variables. So from these 3 final NRCS variables, regression analyses on the respective Munsell variables showed that HRGB could explain 26% of the variability in hue. So from the scatter plot on the left, you can see there's not really a linear pattern there, and it's possible that there were some issues with the redder soils that were scanned that you can see near the bottom of the vertical axis, where they have a higher value of HRGB than would be expected given the trend of the rest of the points. So further research should try to include more hues. With respect to value, L could explain 54% of the variability in value, and the residuals do appear to be random. And then with respect to chroma, Z hat could explain 62% of the variability in chroma. So chroma was best able to be predicted by Z hat. However, for value and chroma, there was still significant spread in the NRCS measurements per discrete levels of value or chroma. So because of this spread, this decreases the potential for one-to-one predictions, but regression nonetheless provides a starting point to estimate soil colors from NRCS measurements. And with respect to hydric soils, chroma and value are really important, and chroma specifically finding a chroma less than or equal to 2. So it's promising that chroma was best correlated to and predicted by NRCS measurements, and further research could focus on comparing low chroma, high value colors to all other colors as measured by the Munsell soil color chart, and then compare the ranges of NRCS variables between these groups. And then also, as I stated before, improve hue correlations and regressions by increasing the number of hues. So with further study, I believe that the NRCS may be able to serve as a more accessible and objective method of soil color determination. Thank you so much for your time.